Peter, and there's only a few people that are experts on our systems. So as soon as we get that going this week, that will be happening. So I'm going to welcome you with the way Reverend Beverly used to welcome everyone. It's like where we are knowing that our dream is that you manifest and create your dream. Do you remember that affirmation? Something like that. That's the way she always started it. So we're going to open with our affirmation that's on the inside of your booklet. And the opening affirmation is, I follow the inner of my spirit to see, hear, and to know the truth about myself and others. Spirit guides me to meet every situation with wisdom, love, and good judgment, confident that respond to me in kind, and all is well in my world. And now we're going to stand and sing our congregational song, I See God in Everything.
Toys for Tots gifts for children in need. And the La Crescenta Sheriff's Department will need a barrel for the bookstore. So right now, though, there is a container where you can drop off your items, and the final collection for the gifts is December 10th. We are living in the land of can-do. And here's another opportunity to demonstrate our abundance within our community. If one of us brings one non-perishable food item, canned goods, pasta, cereal, bags of rice, etc., we will collect over 100 food items in a month. So think of all the good we could put into. The food will be donated to a local food bank that benefits the people in our community. And there will be a basket in our bookstore for collecting the food items. It's there now, okay. Now Sunday, November 24th, that is typically our potluck Sunday, but we will be honoring all volunteers volunteer recognition lunch after the service. And the meal is a full turkey dinner that will feature turkey and mashed potatoes, dressing, veggies, cranberry sauce, roll, and of course some dessert. So please let us know if you plan to attend by signing up on the sheet over in Chaffee Hall by November 17th, which is just the week before. And so that way we know how many people have for the head count. And we'd love everyone to come together for a great meal, and so we can acknowledge those dedicated angels that provide such wonderful service for Center. And we are asking for volunteers to help decorate our center for Christmas. If you would like to help decorate, there is a sign-up sheet in Chaffee Hall. Also, it's time to update our decorations. If you would like to donate toward our Christmas decorations, we will have a donation box in Chafee Hall. And the decorating date will be November 9th or possibly sooner. We're still firming up the date, so details will follow. Coming soon, we will be having a Christmas Eve service on Tuesday, December 24th. The time for the service is still in the works, but we would love it if you would join us to honor this sacred time. As a reminder, each Sunday before service from 9 to 9:30 a.m., we are reading and discussing the science textbook. All are welcome, and you can join in anytime. Directly after that, the practitioner on duty presents a meditation from 9:30 to 45. At the end of service, we offer a prayer circle at the front of the sanctuary on the left side. We invite you to join and request a prayer in a single word. So it's left side from stage, from the stage here, your right side, I guess, if you're sitting over there. The practitioner on duty would say one prayer for everyone in the prayer circle. And these spiritual practices are all provided for you, and we hope you take advantage of them and join us. And Wednesday, 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. via Zoom, we feature a Science of Mind discussion group that reads and discusses the monthly Science of Mind magazine. So see Susan, moi, for the Zoom link if you would like to participate. And our chef today is Naomi, and her menu is a green salad, vegetarian lasagna, and chili amaretto pumpkin bread pudding. All right, so make sure you thank your chef, and thank you to everyone who helps with setup and cleanup.
I'm taking a chance and thanking her now.
Is he a practitioner?
The Science of Mind.
Oh, please. Do you want to get the back?
All right, so let's take a moment right now and get comfortable and close your eyes if you'd like to, or just softly focus. We just take this moment to breathe in. And breathe in the goodness of God right here, right now, as we join together in our community to know that we are one with Spirit, and all the goodness that Spirit is runs through each and every one of us, for we are a beautiful, magnificent of Spirit. And the goodness that we look for in our lives, that is Spirit work through us, bringing it to us right here, right now. And we think about our life, and we know that we want to grow, and we want to expand, and we want to bring more of that goodness. So we practice our spiritual practices. We open our hearts and we open our minds to the wonderful words of Ernest Holmes. And we listen and we grow and we take it to heart. And we can use these words to guide us along the path of knowing Spirit more clearly in our lives, feeling the warmth and the goodness of Spirit in us, through us, with us, for us. Spirit is us. And as we rejoice in this knowing, and we know that build upon that, and we can open our minds to more joy, more peace, more love, prosperity, and abundance of everything. For that is the beauty of Spirit, working with us, because working through us and as us. So with very grateful hearts for all we have received and more that we know is coming to us right now, we shall release these words into that divine law of creative mind, knowing that that's God right there, acting through us, making us stronger, bringing us a more beautiful tomorrow. And we can just affirm, and so
should have been after the announcements, but I guess we could sing it now. And so it is. Okay, go ahead.
Pick it up. It'll give me a chance to. God is all there is. I am one with the Spirit. I realize the truth, and I speak it. I'm thankful for it all. I release it, I let it go, and so it is, and so it is. I know this, and I receive as I believe. One moment, I found something to read here. So this is from our sign line, it's page 46, and it's called The Principle Reinstated. And the first couple of lines go like this. Let us restate our principle. We are surrounded by an infinite possibility. It is goodness, life, law, and reason. In expressing itself through it becomes more fully conscious of its own being. So here we are once again talking about God in us, working with us by working through us and as us. And the basic principle is goodness, life, law, and reason. And this is there to bring us all that and more into our lives when we know that God is working through us, and we know that God is only goodness and love. We can, expression of God, be that expression of goodness and love. And the more we express it, the more we draw it into our lives. That's just kind of the law of attraction, and the creation of beautiful thoughts in our minds creates a beautiful life for ourselves. And so it is.
This song I'm going to sing, it's a little, I don't know if I usually sing it at Easter, but this is a song that I sang to Reverend Beverly while she was in the hospital, that she requested actually, and did harmony with me, so it was really quite amazing. Well, I wound up singing it like 5 times, but it still was amazing, so here we go. I come to the garden alone, while the dew is still on the roses, and the voice I hear whispering in my ear, the song of little hard to sing. I thought before I begin my talk, I'd like to say something about Reverend Beverly. It's, I feel her all day, so it's kind of sorry to be so verklempt, but, so. For those of you that don't know, she made her transition on Thursday afternoon, and I was there with her two sisters. It's really quite a beautiful and mystical thing, quite honestly, but still, you know, it's, whenever we say goodbye to people that we love, it's always painful, but you know, I had to really pause this weekend and think about it and say, you know, she is free. And you know, death is such a funny thing. None of us get out of here alive. And so it's important to just be full and aware and mindful of our whole life, which I believe she is. I was going to say a couple things. She was a teacher to all. She was a mentor to many, and she was my friend. She was a lover and a caregiver to many, many people. A personality that could be kind one moment and fierce the next. But she always believed that she was doing the right thing, and she always had a goal. She believed in this teaching, and she strived to be the best person she could possibly be, and most importantly, she had the bestest of her church community right here at heart all the time. All the time. A little over 4 years ago, she and I started having dinner. So for at least 3 years, and then I started to do the math, and it was actually more than 3 years. We would meet every Friday and have dinner, and all the discussion. Sometimes they were spiritual, and sometimes they were not. But they were fun, and were really, you know, a deepening. They were really just about life, all about life. I had that opportunity at that time to really develop a friendship with her, and I found her to be an incredibly wise and insightful woman. She cared deeply about people, and she always talked about the center. She talked about everybody in the center and how much everybody meant to her. I know she was a great light of hope and love to many, many people. And there isn't a one of us here in this room that couldn't tell you a time when she came and helped them out and was there for them and helped them through something, whatever it was. It could have been something big or it could have just been something small, but she was always there, and she was there completely and loved and was non-judgmental. She had judgments about conditions or circumstances. I know several families that she helped that were in a real about things that she really helped out. And that, my friends, is a gift. That's a gift to be present to those. It might not have been recognized with everyone because there were times when many people didn't see eye to eye with her or vice versa. And probably all of us in this room have a story of that as well. But yet, yes, she most certainly had, guess what, don't we all? Doesn't everybody have something that could drive us crazy if we were dialed into it? And think about it, that's the whole reason we're here on earth, to just discover our soul light and to expand our business and to deepen our awareness of who we are, that we're God in action. So, knowing that she was a rare bird, she left a profound impression on my life, and I'm sure on many of you in this room. Let's think of her in the highest and the best ways as we set on this new journey that she's on for this great adventure, knowing that whatever she came here to accomplish, she did it. And that's why she's gone now. Yes, whatever it was, she's accomplished it. And she graduated. And that's what death is. It's a graduation for the next experience to that next higher level. I'd like to share with you some words of Martin Luther King. As my son mounted, I soon realized that there were two ways which I could respond to my situation. Either to react with silence and bitterness and sadness, or to seek to transform that suffering into a creative force. Beverly would want us to get on with our lives and not dwell on the sadness of missing her, and rather the good fortune and the joy of having known her and having her in our lives. Goodness in spirit abounds, and she would be saying, for goodness sake, which happens to be the talk title. So that's just, you'll probably hear some of this. We set up a memorial. We don't have that determined yet when we're going to do it. And so, but I just wanted to just say something because she means so much, and I just feel her prayer, and I'm happy I do. And I'm sure you are too. So in the dictionary, the phrase for goodness sake is used to express surprise or even annoyance. Now, when I was young, When my mom would say, for goodness sake, I always knew I was in the doghouse about something. Oh, for goodness sake, Mary. So it was always something like that. But I thought I'd share a story with you so we can add some levity to this situation. And that is, a man was driving down a country road and he saw a sign and it said, dog for sale. Intrigued, the man thought, well, I'm going to go check this out. So he parked his car and walked up the driveway, and he looks at the front porch, and here's a man sitting, and the dog very quietly sitting next to him. So the man just decides, I'm going to strike up a conversation with the dog, and he goes, all right, so tell me about yourself. Where have you been? And the dog said, well, when I was younger, I rescued a lot of lives in the Alps and saved them. And then after I finished that, I served a tour of duty in Iraq. And now, since I've come home, I basically I read to the children at the ground. And the man is like flabbergasted, and he looks at this owner and goes, why would you ever want to give up this dog? He's amazing. And he goes, I'll tell you why, because he's a big fat liar. He never did any of those things. And that's, for heaven's sake, I love that, for goodness sake. But today, I want to take a look at the for goodness sake, and Susan touched on it in her beautiful lesson, and that is that in the science of mind, it states that we operate according to a law of cause and effect. We've heard that, and yet we look at our lives and go, wait a second, I didn't ask for this, I asked for this. Whatever bad news shows up, I didn't ask for that. But it's the idea that if we approach life as that everything is for God's sake, guess what you've done? You've given a request to the universe, and only goodness is going to come out of it. And the moment that we declare that, things begin to shift. The energy begins to shift because there's this vibration of goodness we're now declaring. You know, Source is always there, waiting for our attention to it, waiting for our request, and just knowing us and loving us in this unconditional way. But we bring all this havoc onto us when we start to think in the negative, or, heavenlies. We read the news, CNN does not stand for constantly negative news, although it has seemed like that lately for everything, right? There's a lot going on in the news today. But the deal is put our thoughts and our feelings and our imagination into, we create experience. And sometimes we forget, I forget, oh, that's right, I live in a universe that loves and supports me and is waiting for my declaration of good. So what instruction am I giving to the universe? And to pay attention to that, because that's what's determining our day. Did you wake up this morning saying, I'm filled with joy and rapture and everything's going my way? Good, because that's what we're supposed to do. Wake up with these affirmations and know this and set that tone for the day. And if you haven't, I'm not going to tell you to go back to bed, but start now. Just start where you are and go, oh, oops. Because sometimes you go, oh, you cut you off in traffic, I almost went down that rabbit hole of feeling negative, and that's not what it's about. Things come from God, but not God from out there. It's the God from within. And the Spirit within us is knowing our truth and knowing what it is that we're expressing. Ernest Holmes states it like this in Living in the Science of Mind. Everything in the universe is for us. Nothing else. And the important thing is that we live that way. Everything in the universe is for us. Nothing is against us. Holmes emphasizes a belief that the universe is fundamentally aligned with humanity and humanity's growth and potential. And underlying that idea, when we recognize mentally and spiritually all the aspects of life can be seen as operative and cooperative forces of life. Now, did you wake up and go, I know all the forces of the universe are working for me? And we're knowing that they're going to work for Cecilia's cough as well. This concept is also aligned with the idea that mindset is everything. And that mindset is everything, including the challenges. Ultimately, it works in alignment with spirit. And the moment we get ourselves into place in alignment with spirit, all the forces in the universe line up to support that. I believe messages from the divine are everywhere. Have you looked at billboard signs or little things on bumper stickers, which I'll tell you about in a second, or hear a song on the radio that'll help you snap out of things, or whatever it is. You know, you'll see butterflies, you'll see hummingbirds. It's very interesting. When Lainey and I were going back to Reverend Beverly's house because we're having to remove all the things, that's constantly coming around the front door, just constantly coming. I go, there she is, there she is. A friend of mine says her mom is a butterfly and always comes in because at her memorial they released butterflies. And she said, everywhere I go, when I'm thinking about Mom, she's from Australia, she goes, when I'm thinking about Mom, she goes, there comes a butterfly. So there are signs all around if we pay attention. And it means really kind of having our heart in the right spot and our heart open. Doesn't mean we have to know how to do it, but it just means that we have to be present to that energy and be aware of it. I mean, we were trying to set up our camera today, and I was like, gosh darn, this thing makes me so mad. I said, oh, I gotta change my rhetoric here because I'm gonna just jinx it even more. It's like, that's right, this thing works wonderfully, and guess what? Thanks to Lauren here, we set it up perfectly, and it stops slipping through the dealy bob, and that holds it, and it works out. But sometimes, you know, we get in a why I oughta mood, and we change that, because the second you do that, things start to go south, and we don't want it to go south. The other day I was at a stoplight, and to read it because I forgot, it said, on the back of a gal's car, it said, I hope something wonderful happens for you today. And I'm like, I've been blessed. I'm like, well, there's my message. I hope something wonderful happens for me today. A very prominent minister in Science of Mind, Reverend Dr. Kennedy Schultz, said this: until we understand God's will for all of us, that perfect health, perfect wealth, perfect joy in all aspects of our life for each of us, and that we're perfectly entitled to, we won't be receptive or to getting well or to attaining what we want. Until we realize and dial into the fact that the universe is for me. The universe is for me. There's nothing that can stop or block me. The moment that we realize that, it's all systems go. But if we don't realize, we can't attain it because we don't believe it. And we have to believe it. We have to trust in that process. Man is not an individual in God, because that would mean separation, but man is an individual of God. Now there's only one way to consciously reach God, and that's through our own nature. All the books, I mean, boy, if I was as smart as all the books throughout my house, and like what we're bringing from Reverend Beverly's, I'm like, boy, we haven't made. But you know, it has to reach us through our own nature and how we interpret things. So we may hear all the actual perfunctory stuff, but it's we interpret it and live our life. And each one of us is an interpretation of God expressing. Each one of us is. So we taught the intellectual concepts, but discovering God is only done individually. And that's when you get it in your heart. How about expressing with me right now this affirmation? I am a divine expression of light. Well, let's tie it all together. I am a divine expression of love and light. Did you say that to yourself this morning when you looked at Florence Scovel Shinn has written a book, The Game of Life and How to Play It. I don't know if you have ever read that book, but she's just brilliant. And her thing is, she said people consider life a battle, but it's not really a battle. It's a game. But like any board game that we play, there are rules to playing the game to make it successful and to win the game. So it's the same with life. There are rules, there are ways that we make life successful. Put out into the universe comes back to us. For example, you can't create abundance when you're thinking about a big goose egg in your bank account. And you can't create health when you're going around telling everybody how sick you are. You can only by declaring your absolute truth. Now, we may know the truth in this immediate moment, but that's not the truth with the capital T. That's not who and what we are. If it's health we want, we claim it and act like a healthy person. Have a healthy picture on your, taped to your mirror. Have healthy affirmations throughout your house. Saturate your mind and your action, your thought, your feeling with things that are actually affirming health. So how to power? First, let's understand there's a method to prayer. Just like the game of life, there's a method to prayer. And what it is you don't go to God with your worry list. Oh God, I've got this, I've got that. No, you're absolutely declaring truth is. I'm knowing the truth, the health, everything, the wisdom of God is. It already is. Now there are times when I'm on my way to Redondo Beach. Traffic can get pretty sticky. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be cutting it real close, and so I thought I better call him and let him know I'm gonna be flying in by the seat of my pants. And it invariably happens that the moment I call them, or the moment I hang up the phone, traffic opens up. Have you ever noticed that? Have you ever noticed that? That the moment you go, help with this, help appears. Why is that? Because you've declared what it is. The universe goes, I heard you. I hear what you're saying. A friend, he said, you know, every time I'm ill and I gotta make a doctor's appointment, the moment I make the doctor's appointment, I start to get better. Did you ever notice that? You have a toothache and you call the dentist and you go, well, I better cancel it because I don't have it anymore, right? Why is that? Because we've set out our intention. I am knowing my wellness is here right now. I am knowing that help is on the way, and I'm creating this experience. And guess what? It does. So the answer to the prayer becomes the prayer itself. The answer to the prayer is just the prayer itself. I'm declaring my good. I'm declaring my wealth. I'm declaring my health. I'm declaring abundance and prosperity in all aspects of my life. Boom. It's going to happen because that's where your mindset is. And the moment we do the prayer, you know, the last step of the prayer, we release it. And when we release it, we just surrender it over. We surrender it over. And the moment, that's what this let go and let God means in the back. Surrender it over. You've already made your request to God. Now quit hanging on to it, let it go, and let God handle it. And that's how it happens. Nothing can upset us without our own mental agreement with it. Nothing can upset us. But we agree with it sometimes, don't we? Something happens, the heater breaks at your church, and you go, can't figure that out. Oh, the guy that works on it is retired, and nobody knows even what type of system you have. Oh, we're stuck. That's it. I guess we're all going to just freeze all winter, right? No. Find the right person. So the prayer is our divine right repair person for our HVAC system is in the works, and he's coming right now. There are things, the moment that we declare that good is happening, the energy will shift, and then slowly but surely, things start to line up and create. Watch. By next week, we're going to have something going with that. Until we claim our good, and our good only, it will not happen. Believe it. Think about it this way. To be conscious of being poor is to be praying to be poor. To be conscious of your ill health is to be praying for ill health. You get it? You feel that? You feel that difference? I guess I have 3 more pages, so we're going to be here a while. So creating good is done by our good manifest, and that's it. Think of the law of mind as a light switch. It has no wishes of its own, and it doesn't care who turns it on. And it remains inactive until somebody puts it into action. And it's also unattached to the other who's using it. It's neutral, but its laws must be adhered to if it's going to work. You can't you can't walk up to a light and go, I'm seeing you working, so go ahead. No, you've got to turn on the switch. You got to play by the rules. It's like we can't be disappointed at what's being reflected back to us in our life. That's like getting mad at the mirror and breaking the mirror for showing us what's going on. It means I have to change something. I've got to see something different. And that's what the mirror reflects back to us. That guess what? If things aren't going your way, who created them? Who set the law into motion? And the moment that we realize that we're in charge, everything shifts. Other people, especially the ones that annoy us, are only messengers that mirror back to us what we need to correct in our own thinking. It has nothing to do with them. Now you may go, oh, easy for you to say, but you're not to my partner, or you don't have the job that I have, or you're not dealing with a broken, right? But guess what? All that is a knowing, like, something needs to be corrected in my own consciousness and get me going for goodness sake. I have to dial into the for goodness sake of it. So a change of circumstance happens only as a result of the change of your consciousness. Only a change of your consciousness. And how do you change your consciousness? Not by reading awful things online or in the newspapers or all that kind of stuff going on. It's by fortifying your own mind with positive things. Pray for it. You don't have to ask for it. You don't have to plead with it. You merely have to recognize that God is and I am. And that power is moving through me. Create for me whatever I want. I'm going to close with this. Winnie the Pooh and Piglet were walking down the trail, and Pooh asks, hey, what's this? And Piglet responds, why, it's today. And Pooh sighs, oh, this is my favorite day. This is my favorite day. So now go out and make that your most favorite day as well. And so it is.
Yeah. Thank you.
Before we begin our next song, I want to acknowledge those who have served in our veterans and have served in the forces. Is there anyone here in the room today? Or do we know anyone? I know several people that are in forces. We acknowledge them and say thank you for your service. Thank you for protecting us, and thank you for the kindness and the goodness that you've brought into the world. So know that. Okay, this song is I wrote, and I actually sang this to Reverend Beverly. And I call it the Angel Song. So. I believe you are an angel. You were brought here from above. And you were brought here to remind us that all we are is love. I see the heavens send its light out in a love that flows so sweet. And I will look into my soul and know that I am always complete. And love reveals that all things heal when we look into our hearts. Know that what we truly seek, we already have. So lift your vision high to meet God within your soul, and feel the splendor radiate, the answer to love's call. Yes, I believe we all are angels, and we were sent here from above. We were brought here to remind ourselves that all we are is love. Yes, all we are is love. Okay, this is the time of our offertory, and I invite you to take your gift in the palm of your hands, and we'll read that affirmation that's on the inside page. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless all those who give and all save. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply, and I joyously contribute to the vision of this spiritual center, knowing that it returns to me multiplied of. Okay, and now we're going to sing our song while we're doing the collection of I'm So Blessed.
So
And before we do, let's do a prayer. And this is what I know for each of us. The power of God is the very essence of my being. It is who and what I am. It expresses through me as me. I know this oneness as my truth. And so in this day out and live my best life ever, I come from my highest place. I keep my thoughts, my vibration, my imagination, and my feelings uplifted, knowing everything happens for goodness sake. And that's the truth of me. And I know this to be so. I'm so very grateful for this teaching, for this sanctuary, for this center, for everyone in it. Beautiful, palpable energy that we feel when we walk through those doors, and we affirm that affirmation above it that says, let go and let God. And so release this prayer into the law, knowing that my best and highest is seeking me as I am seeking it, and it is manifesting now, and so it is. So let's have our final affirmation down there, which is the blessing affirmation. I go forward today, knowing I am blessed with vitality, filled with energy, and hopeful for what the future is. I have a clear understanding that my good is mine, and I ought to have it. And so it is. And now we're going to have our closing song.
Every step I take, let this be my joy.